Texas League Baseball is next. And good evening, everybody. We'd like to welcome you into the live broadcast of Texas League Baseball. And now, here is the voice of the San Antonio Missions, John Baker. Well, thank you, Bob, and a good Friday evening, everybody. We welcome you to Game 4 of our 6-game set between the visiting Frisco RoughRiders and your San Antonio Missions. Well, tonight is $2 food and drinks all night long here at the ballpark, as we have $2 night presented by our great friends, the Flying Chanclas. As a matter of fact, tonight the Missions are the Flying Chanclas for the second time this week, as we commemorate a beautiful Friday $2 day, and so far pretty good. Series continues tomorrow night. Our first pitch at 7:05, and after the game, sit back and relax and enjoy the best spectacle there ever is, and that is the spectacle of all fireworks shows. Series will continue on Sunday night, 7:05, our first pitch, and it's Bark in the Park Sunday, presented by Petco, PetSmart, and our favorite of all favorite horseback riding places, West Creek Trail Rides. After that, kids can run the bases after Sunday's game. And don't forget, dogs have to be on the leash if they run the bases with the kids. So kids, parents, dogs, well, you know the drill. Don't have your dog off a leash, or you could get fined $200 for a no leash. Next week, San Antonio heads to Corpus Christi. They take on 6 there at Bay Little Rock, Arkansas. They're at All-American Ballpark, as San Antonio will take on the Arkansas Travelers. And then back home on Tuesday night, June 30th, as they take on the final homestand of the first half. And then head back on the road one more time as we close it out, the first half in Midland. Well, go online now at valleylive.com, and yes, it is free. Don't have to pay out of pocket. You can watch games for free, and so far don't have to worry about that. It's a good deal. Just go to valleylive.com, and you can watch anybody in the Texas League or anybody in the leagues like single A, double A, high A, or triple A, whatever you prefer. And you can watch those ball games free of charge, no commission or anything out of pocket. Well, anyway, joined in the booth by my friend and partner, Bob. How you doing there, Bob?
Doing good, John. How are you?
I'm doing good. Well, that was a ball game last night. The Frisco RoughRiders took the W, and now they jump up in first place with 32 wins for this 2026 season. Well, San Antonio being down in second place now, and so far, if the Missions catch up to a W here tonight, they'll tie it up. And if they win Saturday or Sunday, they'll jump back to first place. But anyway, it's going to take a lot of hard-hit balls and all types of stuff to even make that happen. But anyway, what a game that was.
I got to agree, John. And I tell you one thing, the hard-hit balls came in I think it was the top half of the 7th or 8th innings, but it was this consistent base hits for the RoughRiders as they came in and they got something going. Now, that is for sure. Well, we do have some sad news tonight. Arkansas and Northwest Arkansas have been postponed tonight because of severe weather. And so far, it's severe weather like nothing else when we all look at it. And I tell you one thing, it's getting pretty active. It's going to get active here next week for San Antonio. And so far, It's supposed to be thunderstorming on Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And I tell you one thing, the Mother Nature is just getting at her peak efficiency of her getting really active. And I tell you what, gotta say, John, absolutely right about that. But anyway, if it rains, it rains. If it thunderstorms, well, so be it. It's gonna be one of them storm type seasons. And so far, it's gonna be one of them. But anyway, it's gonna do what it's gonna do. But anyway, yeah, we're tracking off storms to the west of Guymon, Oklahoma. That is the Panhandle, close to Amarillo and all types of stuff. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a real active night, and we look off towards Fort Stockton and Midland. Boy, the Rockhounds taking on Corpus Christi, and they're top half of the sixth inning right now. Corpus Christi up 8-1, and I gotta say the Hooks do a pretty good job against Midland, and gotta say the Rockhounds won last night pretty good, and so far tonight trying to get another one as they get going for this one. Well, anyway, we'll go ahead and take you down on the field on this beautiful Friday evening. So far, make sure you make your way to the concession stands for $2 all night long as we present this broadcast to you here and there. Anyway, the missions are in the flying chonklers, the SA logoed caps. And gotta say, so far, a pretty good one. Jagger Haynes, a left-hander, getting ready to go for San Antonio here tonight. As a four-seam slider, a changeup, getting ready for the missions here tonight. The right fielder is Orlando Martinez, as we're about set to go for the top half of the first for Frisco. And three magic words, let's play ball. And that one skied high in the air, right off the bat, and it is gone. And that is how the ball game gets going. Just an RBI come across the score early, right off the bat of Orlando Martinez. And Frisco up early. It's now 1-0 RoughRiders. Jeez, that was unexpected on that baseball. Fans didn't even get to settle in their seats, and boy, that was just some base hit that came out of the blue at 94 miles an hour, 364 foot. Well, I gotta say, John, that's pretty good for Orlando Martinez. Theo Hardy coming in now as he hits that one out of play foul. The count now 0-1. Well, this is our last time that we'll wear our Flying Chonklers uniform. SA logo hat. And that is going to be right there. Line drive up to the line. And that is going to be a RBI no out single awaiting on first base. That'll bring up Gilder Figueroa as he comes in. As that one is outside, the count now 1-0. Just a beautiful evening here in San Antonio. RoughRiders jump ahead on that RBI. So far, just a pretty good one, and that one is out of play. And the count now at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch, and that is fouled off. 1-2 the count now, and here's the pitch. And that's going to be right there, line drive, and that is through for the base hit. And the runner from first is heading home. And now that's going to be a RBI double by Gilder Figueroa And now the Rough Riders up 2-0 early going in the top half of the first inning. Man, I gotta say, that is just rough around the edges. And now the 4-hole hitter coming in. Here's Pablo Guerrero. Gotta say, Bob, it looks like that Frisco winning last night by the score of 11-2. And they could surely do damage against San Antonio tonight if they choose to. But anyway, it takes a lot of base hits and home runs to do that type of damage. Well, here's the Rough Riders starting lineup. Martinez, Hardy, and Figueroa be lead on 3. Guerrero, Drelling, Gutierrez. Hoffer, Johnson, and Macias round out the batting order for the Frisco Rough Riders. Dylan Drelling coming in now. 1 man down and a runner on second. Rough Riders up 2-0 here in the early going. That one is high in the air straight away. Up to left field is Kai Murphy as he makes the play. And that is out number 2. That'll bring in the center fielder, Anthony Gutierrez. 3 games left with the Frisco Rough Riders. Rough Riders will have 9 more games here in San Antonio for this year. Then Missions will hit the Frisco. Take on 6 more against the Rough Riders for the year. And that is right there. The count now 0-2. Well, we've got a pretty good sunset right there. And so far, hope everybody ready to have a beautiful evening of baseball here tonight. That one hit foul, and the count now 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to count, and here's the windup and the pitch. That one high in the air, straightaway center. Kai Roberts will make the grab, and that will be the inning. Boy, 2 runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. Bottom of the first inning coming up. Rough Riders up 2-0. Patrick Murphy, a right-hander coming in. It's a 4-seam curveball and a sinker. Getting ready to go for the bottom of the first inning for the Frisco Rough Riders. Cameron Coley playing out in second base for Frisco. San Antonio shortstop Luis Verdugo getting set to go. Batting in the right-hand batter box. And here is the pitch. That one is a swing and a miss. And we are underway here in the bottom of the first for the Missions. No balls, 1 strike the count. And here's the pitch. And that's got to be a curveball. And the count now at 0-2. Boy, Wichita up a big margin there in Tulsa, as their score is 7-0 win surge. That one's going to be a ball. The count now 2-2. Corpus Christi leading 8-1 against Midland. High in the air, straight away up to first at base. And that is out number 1. Springfield leading Amarillo 3-1. Frisco leading San Antonio 2-0. Verdugo, Robert Salas will lead it off. Sanabria, Carpathios, Fabian. Verdugo, Murphy, and Castellon will round it out for San Antonio here this evening. Here's Kai Roberts. Roberts coming in. 1 man down here in the bottom of the first. And that's a swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be high in the air, foul. And the count now 0-2. Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas postponed tonight. It's right there in the count now 1-2. I bet it came down some pretty good thunderstorms today in North Little Rock, Arkansas. So 2 down, and the first strikeout going to Patrick Murphy. And now Ethan Salas, the catcher, coming in now. He's getting set to go here for the Missions. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that's going to be right there. Ground ball straight away short, and they throw him out at first, and that's the half inning. Well, anyway, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on for San Antonio. Second inning coming up. Frisco leading 2-0. And we'll be back to get the second inning set to go as Trevor Hauver will lead it off for the RoughRiders when we come back. Top half of the second inning for Frisco right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, we welcome you back here to the ballpark as Trevor Hauver, 789, due up for the RoughRiders. We'll get ready to go. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that is in for a cold strike. And it's 0-1 to the lefty, Jagger Haynes. Haynes coming in, and that's a swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. Haynes was the fifth rounder of 2022. I gotta say, a pretty good one. And that is going to be right there, line drive, and that is through for a hit. Going to first, going to second, and he's going to have a stand-up double. And that is Trevor Hauver coasting into second on that double. Here's Cooper Johnson now as he comes in. Ready to go, wind up and the pitch, and that's going to be right there. And that will be up to Castagnon. We'll flip it to Sanabria. Boy, that's a quick out, number one, as Johnson is going down, first out of the inning. Second baseman Cameron Culley coming in now. One man down, runner at second, 2-0 RoughRiders, top of the second.
Ball, outside.
And that is outside. The count now at 1-0. As that will miss outside the zone. Looking in is Jagger Haynes, and here's the windup and the pitch. That is a strike inside, and is a countdown 1-1. Got fans from Frisco watching. We welcome y'all. Dallas metropolitan area. Here's the 1-1 delivery. That one is outside. The count now 2-1. I tell you one thing there, Bob. This offense is looking pretty good for the RoughRiders. Yeah, I got to say, John, they have really been hitting some base hits and 2 home runs in the top half of the first inning for the RoughRiders. And, boy, they come in pretty good. I mean, defensively in this ball game. And that one that goes out of play, foul, still hanging on 2-2. And the pitch, high in the air, straight away. Center field Roberts getting on the warning track, nailing. And that will be out number 2. Runner goes from second to third. Now 90 feet is the third run for Frisco. And so far, one more out here to get out of this half inning unscathed. Here's right fielder Orlando Martinez. He was the solo shot in the first inning. As that's taken in for the strike, the count now 0-1. 1-for-1 is Martinez. As he comes in, is set to go. Here's the pitch, and that one is going to be lined high in the air, straight away. And Roberts can't get there, and that will get a run. And boy, tell you one thing, now a run on an RBI triple. And Frisco now extends the lead. It's 3-0 RoughRiders. Man, tell you one thing, that hit the base of the wall, and the center fielder, Kai Roberts, tried to catch up with it. He couldn't catch up with it because that baseball was just outrunning him in every way. That is for sure. Here's Theo Hardy, as that will be a quick out, number 1. But Martinez gets that RBI home on that RBI double, and that will be 3-0. So 1 run on 3 hits, no errors, and 1 left. We head for the bottom of the second right now in the Missions Baseball Network. Here's Romeo Sanabria as we get going, bottom of 2, 4, 5, and 6, middle half of the San Antonio order coming in, as that is a taken in strike. The count now 0-1. So happy weekend, everybody, as we get going here tonight. So far, kids are out of school off of their summer vacation, but there are some students that have to go through summer school, especially if they fail their classes, then they have to go really good in the summer school. That's right there, hit the first, and that is out number one. Boy, tell you one thing, I didn't even go through summer school when I was little, but you know, we had summer vacations, but back when my mom was around, we would be homeschooled and all this other stuff. I mean, to tell you one thing, that's just how, you know, when growing up, that's just how things could turn if you get summer schooled or if you get homeschooled or whatever. But, you know, with out number two, Braden Carpathos goes out. The designated hitter is Albert Fabian. But to tell you one thing, my dad literally told my mom that one time that we had to be put in public school. And so far, you know, being put in a public school, you know, we'd be in a classroom with like little kids and stuff. Oh yeah, that was the good old fun days right there. Well up to left field and through for a hit. And now San Antonio getting in the hit column. 7-hole hitter, Rosamond Verdugo coming in. Boy, in Wichita giving Tulsa a run for their money tonight. 11-0. Top of the fifth inning. Corpus Christi as well getting Midland a run for their money. Score Corpus Christi 10, Midland 1. Springfield 5-2 against Amarillo. Top of the sixth inning. Bottom half of the second here in San Antonio. 3-0 RoughRiders here in Game 4. Here's the windup and the pitch. That one is outside. The count now 3-1. Left fielder Kai Murphy awaits on deck. Here's a 3-1 offering. And they're not going to like that call. They're going to see where that went. And that is upheld. The count now full. So that was not outside. That was pretty much inside the zone. He wasn't wrong about that. And now that is ball four. So now runner in scoring position. And that'll bring in the tying run. Left fielder Kai Murphy comes on. The 8-hole batter gets going, and that's going to be in for a strike. The count now 0-1. 2 out, 2-1 here in the bottom of the second inning for San Antonio. RoughRiders up 3-0 here in the early goings. Here's the 0-1. And that one is going to be pelted. And that is going to hit the base of the wall. 1-run scores, 2-run score, and that is a 2-run double by Kai Murphy. And San Antonio just a run trailing the RoughRiders. Man, pretty good right there, and they get those 2 runs back. And now the tying run is now in scoring position. Marcos Castañon being the next batter up. As that's going to be in for the strike. The count now 0-1. 3-2 score. Bottom of the second inning, 2 runs from the 8-hole batter. And he's out there at second base right now. Boy, swing and a miss, and that's the count now 0-2. And now 0-2 the count now, 2 outs. Runner at second here in this one. And that one's going to be outside. The count now 1-2. Well, I'll tell you one thing there, Bob. Pretty good hit from the 8-hole batter. That one's going to be right there. And that is going to be fair. All the way to the wall. And that will jump up ahead. As now it's a 3-3 tie. A double. And double meat cheeseburger coupons will come in. And I guess that is 2 for everybody here tonight. These coupons don't expire.
Boy, pretty good deal that San Antonio now closed the gap in that one. Now 3-3 tie. And here's Luis Verdugo as he comes in.
That is for sure there, Bob. And so far, 3 runs here in the half inning, 2 outs. And so far, just a pretty good half inning to come back on. Tie-breaking run is out there at second. And that is a swing and a miss. The count now 0-2. Boy, 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors. And that is right there. Swung on. Down at first. And that is out number 3. 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 1 left as we head now to the third. And we are deadlocked at 3. Guerrero, and Drilling will get things ready to go for the third for Frisco when we come back. 3-3, RoughRiders and San Antonio.
About set to go for the third inning right now. The Mission's Baseball Network. Well, Gilder Figueroa coming in now as we lead off the third inning. Boy, 3-3 tie. San Antonio comes back bottom of the second, gets 3 runs in. And boy, gonna be a pretty good night thus far for these two teams. And gotta say, with Frisco being in first place, San Antonio trying to avoid losing another tonight.
No, that's foul.
That's going to be a foul ball. The count now, 0-2. Here's the windup and the pitch. And that's going to be foul. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Midland. Boy, some high-scoring games right there. Hit the Sanabria out at first, and there's one down.
Number 27.
Well, Jagger Haynes has 73% of his four-seam fastball. Here's first baseman Pablo Guerrero. He's 0 for 1, a flyout. Boy, I tell you one thing, just a pretty good ball game as we're tied again. Normally a ball game starts at 0, but now we're 3-3 here in the third inning. That one ground ball right there to the shortstop Verdugo, and he flips it to Sanabria. And that is out number 2. Left fielder Dylan Drelling coming in, 0 for 1 flyout. The pitch, swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. 0 for 1 by Drelling. As he comes in, is set to go, and hits that one in for a strike. The count now 0-2. Boy, hopefully, John, he sure could get a 1-2-3 inning, and that would continue to keep this game tied. High pop-up straightaway right field. Carpathios gets under it, makes the play, and the half inning comes to an end. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left. 3.5 and tied 3-3. So just about set to go as we lead it off with Kai Roberts leading it off for San Antonio when we come back.
Foul set to go for the bottom of the third right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, center fielder Kai Roberts coming in. 2-3-4 due up here in the half inning. 1 ball and no strikes. Acker and Anderson, 2 right-handers getting loose out there in the RoughRiders bullpen. Say just a pretty good one here tonight. Here is a 1-0 delivery. That one fouled off. The count now 1-1. Boy, Springfield up 7-2. Bottom of the 6th inning already. And that one's going to be a liner straight away up to right center. Through for a hit. Roberts going for 2, and he coasts in the second on a sweet leadoff double. Boy, pretty good hit right there, John. He got that one going, and he knew where that one was going to be. Straight away, right center. Got to agree there, Bob. He had it right where he wanted it. Here is a 3-hole batter, Ethan Salas. As that will miss outside, the count now 1-0. 0 for 1 ground out. Tie-breaking run for San Antonio sits at second base. Which that right there is pretty good. Here's the 1-0. And that's going to be right there. Straight away to second to first in time, out number 1. But runner from second to third will move safely to third base, and that is 90 feet away. First baseman Romeo Sanabria coming in, 0 for 1 a ground out. Here's the windup and the pitch, swing and a miss. The count now 0-1. Boy, Wichita and Tulsa, Corpus Christi and Midland. Boy, those are some high-scoring games. That's high fly in the air straight away. And that'll be enough for the tag up. Here comes the runner, and San Antonio scores a sacrifice fly. Missions doing pretty good. Sanabria getting that one as he knocks in the run from third straight home. Braden Carpathios coming in. Boy, and Mission's doing pretty good. Now already 4 runs in this ball game, and that's going to land right to left field for a base hit. Be anybody's ball game tonight, right, Bob? I got to say, John, yeah, you could be right there. Frisco doing good, San Antonio doing good, but most evidently the Missions went through and they won the first game of the series, and Frisco winning the last 2, which that was Wednesday and Thursday. Tonight could be different. Well, end of 3, 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, and at least 1 left. We head to the 4th, and San Antonio leads it 4-3. Anthony Gutierrez leads it off for the RoughRiders when we come back. Bounce at the goal for the top of the fourth inning. Right now, the Missions Baseball Network.
Number 25.
Number 25 is Anthony Gutierrez coming in now. 6-7-8 due up against Jagger Haynes. Boy, San Antonio up 4-3 here in this game in the fourth inning. That one swing on and miss. The countdown 0-1 as he comes in. Got to say there, John, he's swinging and missing. Pretty good. Up to the right field is Braden Carpathios. And that is out number 1.
Now batting.
Great crowd we have here the Friday night. Boy, weekend baseball is everybody could come out to the ball game. And if you're working, you're listening to us here on YouTube Live, that is also a good thing. Make sure you watch us, especially if you're on break or late lunch here tonight. No balls and 1 strike the count now as Hoffer comes in. And he swings and misses at the count now 0-2. Pretty good day today. It was hot and humid. Boy, the horses there at West Creek, they were sweaty as they were taking care of the rides, and boy, they did a lot of hard work today, and especially getting the carrots for them and having just awarded them. And right there, out number 2 is Halvers down on strikes. So how much carrots did you give for the boys? Well, at least 2 bags. I bet they sure enjoyed that, come in and get some carrots and be loved on and all types of stuff. Cooper Johnson, the next batter up for Frisco, comes in. Will take inside a strike. And the count now 0-1. John, I got a question. Okay. How much, 2 bags of carrots at HEB, how much did that cost you? About $2.28. Whoa, so they did go up a little bit. Yeah, they did. At least they were $1.60 at least a couple weeks ago, but now they've gone up to $2.28 a bag. And I gotta say, they are just, it's not too bad, too terrible, but I will say it's okay. $2.28, not a bad deal. Well, 3 up, 3 down, no runs, hits, or errors for Frisco as we head for the bottom of the 4th. San Antonio leads it 4-3.
Now pitching, Dane Acker.
Right-hander Dane Acker coming in now. 4-seam curveball, slider, and a 2-seam fastball getting ready to go for the RoughRiders. With a 4-seam, a curveball, a slider, and a 2-seam fastball
Number 31.
coming into this one. Rosemont Verdugo coming in now, 7, 8, 9, bottom half of the lineup order.
That's a ball.
And they're going to call that one a ball. The count now 1-0. We'll see where that is. And they overturned it. Now it's no balls and 1 strike. Well, how the heck can you call that a strike when it was outside the zone? Yeah, confusing, Bob, as it is. Well, that one's going to go foul. The count now 0-2. Here's the pitch, and that's going to be right there, high in the air, straight away left field, and that is out number 1.
Now batting, left fielder,
Ty Murphy coming in as 2 RBI double in the second, 1 for 1. Boy, just a pretty good evening here in San Antonio. It's beautiful. Hardly a cloud in the sky, but most evidently with rain and thunderstorms coming in next week. Well, especially we're at Corpus Christi next week, so I gotta say I think we'll get a little rain here and there, but we'll check the forecast for Corpus Christi going onward.
No, that's low.
That one is down and in, and the count now 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Murphy. Hits that one foul. And the count now at 1-2.
Now, the weather forecast says partly cloudy skies with cloudy conditions coming overnight,
Now batting.
especially for a Saturday.
94.
Cloudy skies followed by partial clearing. It could be a thunderstorm by tomorrow afternoon. Probably spotty shower or thunderstorm here and there. Partly cloudy in the evening on Saturday night for Game 5, becoming cloudy overnight. Sunday will be scattered thunderstorms developing during the afternoon. So evidently, if it rains and we get postponed, then most likely we've had 5 games here against Frisco. So not too terrible, I would say. That's high in the air straight away, and that is out number 3. Well, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left for San Antonio. 5th inning coming up, and the mission's up 4-3. Top half of the 5th inning. Here is the second baseman, Cameron Colley. Thank you, John, for getting me going on the 5th inning. And that one is a high pop-up right there. Rosman Verdugo awaits on it. And that is out number 1 on the fly.
Now batting.
Well, I got to say there, John, it is pretty good when you come in and you get that one out for out number 1. Here's the right fielder, Orlando Martinez. I got to say, Bob, you're right about one thing, that, those flyouts come really handy. Right there, up to first, in foul grounds is Sanabria as he takes that one for out number 2.
3.
2 up, 2 down here in the half inning. You got to say, RoughRiders are probably not happy about that at all. I don't blame them, because with the 2 flyouts, that really gives up any base hit opportunity, and then it would go for the bottom of the 5th inning for the Missions in the next round. Shortstop Theo Hardy coming in is 1 for 2 in the single. John, you make some valid points there, and I got to say, you do a pretty good job about that. Well, thank you there, Bob. There's a pitch right there and in for a strike. Good the count now, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike the count, and here's the pitch. That one foul. Count now 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch, and that is foul. Still hanging on. One ball, 2 strikes to count now, and the windup. Right there, ground ball. Sanabria has it, and that ends the inning. No runs, hits, or errors for Frisco. 5.5 set to go. This one, Texas Barbecue, proud sponsor. San Antonio leads it 4-3. Well, thank you, Bob. Luis Verdugo set to go in the top or bottom half of the 5th inning. Set to go. We'll be right back. Bounce at the go for the bottom of the fifth for San Antonio right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Back to the top of the lineup for San Antonio. Here is Luis Verdugo, the shortstop, as he comes in. Is 0 for 2. Welcome you back to Missions Baseball here at Nelson Wolff Stadium in San Antonio. That one's a ground ball. Ground hopper straight away. Short. Throw down to first in timeout number 1. Boy, I tell you one thing. Corpus Christi sure is giving Midland a whooping tonight. Score is 16-3, top half of the 8th inning. Wichita still whooping Tulsa pretty good. 14-0, bottom of the 6th inning. Springfield up a pretty good margin. 7 runs ahead of Amarillo, and I gotta say, pretty good. It's a high-scoring ball game tonight, except here in San Antonio, it's a close game. San Antonio 4, Frisco 3, bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the windup and the pitch, and that's going to be a ground roller straight away up to the second base, up to first, and in time, as that is out number 2.
Now batting, catcher number 90.
And that'll bring up the catcher number 90. And the RoughRiders manager coming out now, as that will be it for the starter here tonight. And so far, pretty good after 5.5 innings worth.
Number 53.
Well, we'll turn it to a right-hander. Ben Anderson will be in the relief position on the mound for Frisco. 4-seam slider, curveball changeup, 2-seam. But we look at the 96-mile-per-hour fastball that he has, and pretty good on top of that. That one is high fly in the air straight away, and that is going to get down, but nobody could catch up to it. And that is the count now, 0-1. Salas 0 for 2 and 2 groundouts getting going here tonight for San Antonio. 16-3. I would say that would be no laughing matter. Corpus Christi just putting whooping on Midland. Well, right there to left field, and that is out number 3. And so far, that will be the side retired. 6th inning coming up. Missions up 4-3. Guerrero in trailing will lead it off in the top half of the 6th for Frisco. Halfway point here tonight as we give you the instant replays of the early innings of this broadcast. And so far, just a pretty good one as we get set to go here for the top half of the 6th inning. One more time in a long time, looking at the Flying Chanclas for a while. Next week being up in Corpus Christi and Arkansas for the next following week, and then won't return home until the 30th of June.
Number 5.
Top of the 6th inning as we get set to go here at home. Gotta say, just a pitch-perfect ball game. The tying run is Gilder for Guerrero, but we'll take a quick break here. And we'll be back right after the broadcast as 3-4-5 due up against Jagger Haynes, so get ready to go.
Well, about set to go for the top half of the sixth inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Well, we're back here at the ballpark, top of the sixth. Gilder Figueroa leading it off, 3-4-5, due up against Jagger Haynes. Will come in and swing after that one as that'll be a swing and a miss. The count now 0-1.
Yeah.
And the pitch is in. The count now at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Wind up and the pitch, swing and a miss, and that is out number 1.
Number 20.
And that's the second strikeout for Jagger Haynes. And yep, so far that was just a beautiful swing and a miss right there. And that is out number 1. Pablo Guerrero coming in now. 0 for 2 of tonight.
Nope, that's off the plate.
And that is going to be outside. The count now at 1 ball and no strikes. 0 for 2, a fly out and a ground out for Guerrero here. Wind up and the pitch, and that is going to be in for the strike. The count now at 1-1. Boy, Corpus Christi leading 16-5 against Midland. Boy, and I tell you, the Hooks are really starting to give Midland a whooping to know tomorrow. High in the air straight away as Barpathos gets there to make the play. That's out number 2.
Now batting, left fielder, number 8.
Springfield leading Amarillo 10-3, bottom of the 7th. Wichita leading 14-0 there at Tulsa, DCJ Field. Here is Dylan Drelling as he comes in, takes a strike inside. It's count now 0-1. Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas postponed tonight after the thunderstorms that they had. And that is going to be in for the strike. The count now 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Could be another 1-2-3 half inning. Here's a pitch, and that is a swing and a miss. And wish granted that it becomes a 1-2-3 half inning. Well, the San Antonio Missions will call up the middle half of the order, set to go next when we come back from break. And we'll be right back as Romeo Sanabria leads it off for San Antonio when we come back.
Now set to go for the bottom of the sixth right now on the Missions Baseball Network. Romeo Sanabria leading it off. We welcome you back to the ball game on this Friday night. That one will miss outside. The count now 1 ball and no strikes. Few clouds starting to pop up around the area, but it will be a clear evening. But overnight going into a Saturday morning, it will be overcast conditions. So far, a pretty good one. That is right there. Line drive, straightaway short. Throw down the first in time. And that is out number 1.
Now batting, right fielder, number 22.
Well, right fielder, Braden Carpathios coming in. 1 for 2 single. Here's the pitch. And that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. 1 for 2 here tonight for Carpathios. No balls, 2 strikes to Carpathios, and that's going to miss outside. And the count now at 1-2. Well, do we have any live chats here tonight? I don't think we do, but anyway, that is a called third strike, and that is out number 2. Carpathios down on the strikeout. Here's the designated hitter, Albert Fabian, as he'll take that one in for a strike. And the count now at 1 ball and no strikes. And that one is in the count now at 1-1. Anderson now at 12 pitches for his relief start for Frisco. And that one is going to be high fly in the air, straight away up to the right field area. And that will be out number 3, the side retired. No runs, hits, or errors, and nobody on for San Antonio. 7th inning coming up, 4-3 Missions. Well, as we head to the 7th inning, here is Anthony Gutierrez, the center fielder. So far, a lot of daylight left in this ball game. Normally, it'd be dark by the time we're even through the half inning of the 6th, but most evidently, this game is just flying by. Anthony Gutierrez coming up now, 1 for 1. 13-3 Springfield there at Blue River Stadium in Springfield, Missouri. I gotta say, that game against Amarillo is just a real blowout. Don't really think that Amarillo is going to win tonight, but Springfield has a good deficit of up to 10 runs leading Amarillo. Here's the 1-2. And that one right there is the count now 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, the count now to Gutierrez. 0 for 2 of the night. Will lead off the 7th inning. And that's going to be hit high in the air straight away. Right field Carpathios runs it down shy of the line. And that is 1 down. Trevor Hauver was 1 for 2 double and a run as a designated hitter. Wind up and the pitch, and that is going to be high fly in the air. So far, right there in the count now. And that's in for a strike, and it's 0-2. So we have high-scoring games in Springfield, Midland, and Tulsa. Boy, Drillers getting outfooled by Wichita, 14-0. Corpus Christi, 16-7 against Midland. Springfield up 13-3 against the Amarillo Sod Poodles.
Close game here in San Antonio, 4-3 in the 7th inning here in this one. Wind up and the pitch, and that is going to be high fly in the air straight away, and that is gone. And Trevor Halver getting a run in. A solo shot to straightaway right field, and that will tie us up. Third time the charm here tonight. And the Frisco RoughRiders tie it up against San Antonio 4-4. Boy, that would make a manager happy if you see him smiling out there in the dugout. Oh yeah, we start to see that Frisco manager just smiling and just giving that good old kid a pat on the back saying, hey, good job out there. Well, at 70 pitches already as Jagger Haynes now hits the limit of his 70th. So far, we are going to turn it over to the first reliever for San Antonio here in this one. And so far, he's seen enough of his starter, Jagger Haynes. Well, he did pretty good, but I would say this is going to be a L, a W, or a no decision. But right-hander Dyson Acosta now coming in for San Antonio as he will get to relief on the mound. And so far, a pretty good one as he gets ready to go for San Antonio. Here's Cooper Johnson now as he comes in. Eight and nine hitters due up, and that's going to be right there. Straight away to short, and that is going to be out of play, and the E6 comes in, and he overshot it big time. Man, I tell you, and that's a baseball to somebody that gets in. Now an error gets in for the Missions. You don't see that every day, Bob. I bet that manager's just in the dugout pulling his hair out of his head and saying, what are you doing? I didn't teach you how to play baseball like a little girl and stuff. Well, I tell you what, you're funny, but no, girls, they play the softball. You know, softball is a little like baseball and stuff. Yeah, sure it is. We played softball in Camp Bandera. Oh yeah, was that last year? Well, yeah, Bob, think about it. Well, that'll bring up the next batter up. I mean, I was kidding a little bit earlier about the whole baseball girl thing. Oh, just kidding. Orlando Martinez coming in. 2 outs, runner at second. 4-4 ball game. A error on San Antonio. And that one goes foul. The count now 0-1. Home run, triple, 2 RBIs. A run is 2 for 3 to the right fielder here, Martinez. And the pitch. That is right there, foul. And the count now 0-2. 7th inning stretch coming up here at the ball game. Right there, straight away. Verdugo flips it to Sanabria, and that ends the half inning. Well, Trevor Halver gets that right field base hit. Home run for the RoughRiders. And now it's 4-4 ball game as we head for the bottom of the 7th. Rosman Verdugo getting set to go as we head for the 7th inning for this home stretch. And have a good time having that home stretch. We'll be right back in this one.
Well, hope you've had a pretty good seventh inning stretch, and now it's time to get back to our broadcast here in San Antonio tonight as we lead it off the bottom of the seventh inning right now on the Missions Baseball Network. 4-4 ball game as Rosemont Verdugo coming in now. 7, 8, 9 due up for San Antonio. As the first pitch in, swung on and missed. The count now 0-1. Velez and Lopez, two right-handers coming in the RoughRiders bullpen. Boy, pretty good ball game here tonight, but San Antonio in a tie with Frisco. No balls and 2 strikes to count. Boy, Corpus Christi now 17-8. Well, it's the bottom half of the ninth inning there in Midland. And Corpus Christi, I will say, I think Midland did something to upset them, and they really got something going. I think that was a butt whooping of a lifetime for the Rockhounds. Guy Murphy coming in now. 1 man down, nobody on. 7th inning for the Missions here tonight, as that is going to be swung on and missed, and that is the count now at no balls and 1 strike. Murphy coming in from the stretch, swings and misses after it. Now the count now 0-2. You don't see that every day in high-scoring ball games, but Corpus Christi now 17-7 against Midland. The Rockhounds have been really good, and especially acquiring the trade from San Antonio from one of our players, Leo Dallas DeVries, who was on the Missions a couple years back, and so far now into a Rockhounds uniform. Still in Double-A ball, which that's pretty good for him. And Marcos Castañon, the second baseman, coming in, is 1 for 2. Leo Dallas DeVries, I remember when he came to San Antonio and we took on Wichita that one evening. Or that one afternoon. Boy, it was a Sunday afternoon final game against the Wind Surge. And boy, tie ball game, and I gotta say, he hit the winning run. It was a 3-run shot, winning walk-off run. And boy, pretty good ball game. Never forget it. Here's the 2-1. And that one is high in the air, straight away. Going back, gone! Castañon gets it over the fence. And San Antonio takes back the lead. Wow, that was good hitting right there, John. I gotta say, it makes the home crowd happy as they see Marcos Castañon hitting that one out to left field. 93.3 on the exit velocity. 368 foot, which that right there is pretty good. Here is the leadoff batter, Luis Verdugo, the shortstop. Rosemont Verdugo, Luis Verdugo, 2 brothers. Evidently both acquired by the San Diego Padres. Both of them in 2024. Getting in the Padres affiliate. High in the air straight away. Near the wall and foul pole. And that will do it. But Marcos Castañon getting in that home run. And San Antonio scores in the tie-breaking run. We head to the 8th inning. It is now San Antonio leading it by 1. Theo Hardy, the shortstop, coming in as we lead off the top half of the 8th inning. Frisco down to their final 6 outs here for this ball game, and that is going to be in for a cold strike. And as the count now 0-1. That one is right there. Liner straight away through for a single, for a base hit to straight center.
So a no-out single like Theo Hardy gets on base for Frisco. And so far, just a pretty good one here in this one. Boy, just got to absolutely love how things are going here tonight for San Antonio. And so far, just a lot going on. Here's Gilder Figueroa, the third baseman, is 1 for 3, a double RBI. Boy, good crowd here tonight in San Antonio. And so far, the Spurs taking on the New York Knicks. So San Antonio at New York, and then they come here.
Whoa.
New York comes to San Antonio. Which, hopefully, yes, we have been seeing a lot of videos on Facebook about the uncivil rest, and Knicks fans there in New York have really been on edge with San Antonio visiting their city. New York is not a good city to live in, I would say. I mean, just overrun by a lot of people that believes in civil unrest. So right there, a swing and a miss, and that will be out number 1. Figueroa down on strikes right after that. Well, gotta say, John, the people that believe in civil unrest, if they're causing mayhem, they know what's coming for them because it'll catch up with them in the end. That is for sure. A lot of officers are now getting beat up and all types of stuff. Well, Pablo Guerrero coming in now is 0 for 3. But anyway, we back the blue of our police officers, our military, and our first responders. That's why we have Military Appreciation Night Wednesday. It shows the love and support that we should give our men and women and those that protect us each and every day. They serve in uniform for a purpose. I mean, police officers, they protect our communities. Firefighters, they battle fires like you've never seen before. They call 911 and are emergency responders, Say if somebody, is at home and nobody is breathing, or if it's a heart attack or whatever, that's what our emergency crews are for. Our first responders go out and they rush them to the hospital. That's high fly in the air. The shortstop, Verdugo, getting there and makes the play, and that is the half inning. So, no runs, hits, or errors, and nobody left on for San Antonio. Bottom half of the 8th inning set to go. 5-4 missions.
Now pitching, number 86.
Ryan Lopez coming in now. 4-seam cutter, slider, splitter, sinker, getting ready to go here for
Number 2.
the Frisco RoughRiders. Center fielder is Kai Roberts. He comes in. Boy, just now getting dark here in San Antonio, and a lot of daylight left, which it's always good. So far, top of the 9th inning, it should be all the way dark here in this one. No balls and 2 strikes to count now. Trying to keep up the 1-run deficit against the RoughRiders. 4,401 today in attendance. That right there, pretty good. Here's a 1-2 offering, and that's going to be hit high in the air, straight away up to right field. And that is out number 1. We love our military, men and women that serve in uniform, and those that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Especially our military, they're the ones, all of our, military, Marines, our Coast Guard, Space Force, everybody, they protect us day in, day out. And their job is a whole lot harder than our job right now. But, all we have to do is say thank you for your service and be happy for that we serve in a country that is free, a country that will always be free. John, I wholeheartedly agree. I am just so happy to just hear you say that. Family and friends, they serve, and there's a lot of people that, their sons and daughters never came home, and their sacrifice does not go in vain. That's for sure, Bob. I agree. We say that just to remember them. That one high fly in the air, straight away up to right field, and that is out number 2. Military Appreciation Night will be back on Wednesday in Corpus Christi. Romeo Sanabria is 0 for 2, a sacrifice fly. RBI 0 for 2. Boy, it could be a one-run ball game for the Missions. And that will be out number 3 as we head to the 9th. 5-4 ball game as San Antonio leads it by a run. Well, leading it off for the top half of the 9th inning, Anthony Gutierrez getting ready to go. And here's the windup, and that is in for a strike. The count now 0-1. No balls, 1 strike. 1-run ball game for San Antonio here tonight. Will that one take outside, and the count now 1-1. Well, I gotta say, Corpus Christi took a whooping straight to Midland. The final score, Corpus Christi 17, Midland 8.
Nope, that's away.
Boy, Springfield, boy, you look at that score, and it is still getting plumb serious out there. Springfield Cardinals 18-3 against Amarillo. 1-run ball game here in San Antonio. It's a low-scoring ball game against the RoughRiders. I remember that one time when the Rockhounds were 25 and Amarillo was 4. That was about early July 4th going into the early morning of July 5th. That was also a weekend. I remember that pretty good. 25-4. Midland took that ball game. But yeah, the high-scoring games is what got something going. We look at these ball games. Springfield, 18 runs, 16 hits, 1 error. And for Amarillo, 3, 5, and 2. They committed 2 errors to the ball game. That one is right there. The count now 1-2. But most definitely a foot race is happening here tonight in the South and North divisions. Here's a 1-2. High pop up straight away. Shortstop Verdugo gets it. And that is out number 2. One more chance for Frisco here tonight. And so far, this could be it. Cooper Johnson, the last out here for the RoughRiders, is 1 for 3 single. We'll take a sinker upstairs. The count now at 0-1. No balls and 1 strike. Here's the pitch. That one outside. And the count now 1-1 as it rolls past into the backstop. 1-1. Here's the pitch. And in for the strike, and they're down to it. The final strike here tonight. And here's the 1-2. High pop up straight away. Right field, Carpathios makes the grab, and the ball game is over. Little daylight left as San Antonio scores in. And boy, tell you one thing, a good night indeed for the Missions. Boy, they come back and they get things going as they win it by a run. It 5-4 the final here in San Antonio. Dyson Acosta is the win. Loss is Ben Anderson, as most definitely he gets the loss for the RoughRiders. If I tell you one thing, just a pretty good night in this one. Boy, San Antonio now up 32 even against the RoughRiders. And so far now the 27th loss for Frisco as the Missions win here tonight. Well, anyway, Northwest Arkansas and Arkansas has been postponed. Corpus Christi winning their 25th, beating Midland. Boy, if Midland would have won here tonight, they would have been 2.5 against San Antonio and Frisco. And gotta say, you know, it's one of them games. Not so good for Amarillo. Boy, 3 outs remain. I think they're beat. So Amarillo will see their 32nd loss of the year. So they'll be 28-32. Springfield, boy, tell you one thing. They now move up to 4th place as winning against Amarillo. As so far, they are tied up against Northwest Arkansas. Which, that one right there, pretty good. Wichita definitely getting a win tonight against Tulsa. Still blowing them out 14-0. I gotta say, that is just a whooping that you don't even see, but most evidently they literally, you know, Corpus Christi 17-8, Springfield 18-3, and Wichita 14-0. Final score is starting to pour in here tonight. And boy, to tell you one thing, well, the final score 18-3 is Springfield and Amarillo. 18 runs, 16 hits, 1 error. Left on base is 6. Amarillo 3-5-2-7 left on base. Boy, pretty good for the Springfield Cardinals. Kind of reminds me when San Antonio came up against the RoughRiders there at Statesman's Park back in 2018. Final score 21-8, I think it is, but most evidently that was a pretty good ball game back in 2018. And so far a pretty good one. Well, gotta say, everybody played except Northwest Arkansas and the Travelers. And we are definitely going to see y'all again tomorrow evening with baseball here in San Antonio. And 5th game of this 6-game set between the RoughRiders and the Missions. Now, we'll say that Frisco this year will have only 8 more times taking on San Antonio in the Alamo City. San Antonio heads to Frisco the last 6 times of the year. That will be in August. August schedule looks like this: Springfield, Frisco, Northwest Arkansas, Springfield, and then we head back home to take on Midland and then wrap it up against Amarillo right after that. Regular season will end and the playoff rounds begin right after that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, blowouts tonight. Boy, Corpus Christi did good. Wichita did good. Springfield did good. And, close game here tonight. San Antonio, 5-4. And here's where it became very interesting. We look at the bottom half of the second inning, and it was really good. 3 runs for San Antonio. Boy, look at that, bottom half of the second. And then 1 single run in the bottom of the third, and then the 7th inning came to a single. We were tied ball game, and that's where that 1 lone run came in across the score. Marcos Castañon, player of the game, with a 2-for-3, a home run, and a double. Dyson Acosta is the win, and Ben Anderson tonight for the RoughRiders gets the loss. Boy, I tell you one thing, Wichita, 14 runs, 14 hits, 1 error, 15 left on base. For Tulsa, no runs, 5 hits, 4 errors. I tell you, Tulsa is, whoa. I got to say, Tulsa making 4 errors in 1 ball game. I bet a manager would be like, ooh, we're not having a good night thus far. I don't blame you. That is not a good night at all when you make that many errors. But hey, you know what? You live and learn as you make those errors. If you mishandle a baseball or this or that, you get the whole idea. Besides that, you'd be like, okay, well, I mishandled that baseball and it got out of my hand. Or I jumped road and it sailed way too high that the first baseman couldn't even get it. But anyway, yeah, we did see that for San Antonio tonight, as that 1 lone error was committed for the Missions. But anyway, yeah, pretty good night thus far. Well, before we go, we'll go over runs, or actually, no runs, hits, or errors tonight, but final scores here in the Texas League. Wichita shutting down Tulsa, while final score 14-0. Corpus Christi winning in Midland 17-8. Springfield winning 18-3 against Amarillo. And San Antonio here tonight winning 5-4 in the ball game. Well, I got to say, pretty good on top of that one. Well, for all of us here, we hope y'all have a good rest of your night. And so far, Game 5 tomorrow evening as we get set for that one. So, yes, don't forget about that, because tomorrow evening, post-game fireworks after the ball game. And so far, pretty good. Well, for all of us here tonight, safe travels home. Get home safely. This has been Missions Baseball.